Hello, and welcome to yet another episode of Witches and Wine. I am your hostess with the mostest, Lola Stardust. We also have my coven sister, Isleen, and Morrigan. Hi, girls. This is the show where we talk about witchy stuff and we drink wine. Clink and drink. Ooh. We got a nice Chardonnay. I got my dog here. And that's Ziggy Stardust. So before we
get on to our topic, I'm going to talk about our wine this evening. It is the River Road Chardonnay, Sonoma County, 2016. There it is. Ooh. So I have notes because my Silenus is working hard for the money, selling wine to people. This is a crisp pear and apple flavors meld with notes of butter and vanilla on the long, smooth finish. This family-owned winery sources most of their grapes from the prestigious Russian River appellation. Pair with seafood, chicken, or pasta dishes. It's oak, pear, vanilla, and full-bodied like us. Also, you'll note, it's a white wine this time.
We have white wine.
Rare white wines.
I know.
In Witches and Wine.
Witches and white wine tonight. Clink and drink.
White witches and white wine.
That is alcohol abuse. I spit in your wine there for a sec.
Putting mine down because it's getting dangerous now.
This runs about $14.99. If you're over here on our side of the country, you can find it at Total Wine and More. I'm giving them a shameless plug because that's where my husband works.
And where we get most of our
wine.
wine.
Where we get most of our wine. So, let's go ahead and begin our topic. I think this is an important topic to talk about. In our Wiccan religion, there is a huge part about taking responsibility for your actions. I believe that is one of the reasons why we don't have like a God or a, like in the Christian religion. I hate bringing it up if there's Christians out there watching this, which I'd be surprised, but if so, welcome. But in the Christian religion, there's the whole concept of the devil, that you can blame the devil made me do it, or this made me do it, and it's not really taking responsibility for the fact that you make your choices. And so this is a really hard thing for people to do, to take responsibility. Why do you think it's so hard for people to own up to what role they played in this situation?
Because you have to look at yourself, and you have to look at, for lack of a better word, your flaws or stuff that you need to work on. And for some people, I know when I was younger, it was really difficult for me to acknowledge that I did something wrong. Or that I had a part in it. And, and especially in our society, we're so used to the news, and you point fingers and blame people.
It's
their fault.
Yep,
it's your fault. You out there who are watching, it's your fault.
It's your fault.
Your fault.
It's your fault. You chose to watch this.
Yes. Your fault.
We can't be held responsible.
So it's hard. I mean, you really have to look deep within
you. More. I feel like you're. Are you okay? Are you okay with half of your face cut off? You're like, what's his name? Two-Face, or I'm thinking of Batman. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's really hard to admit.
That's shadow work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hard work. I mean, if it was easy, we'd all be doing it.
Yeah, no one wants to do that. No one wants to face their own inner demons, because inner demons don't play well with angels, to totally rip off the song lyric.
What song is that?
I don't remember.
I know the lyric. I just
Angels, I don't know. I don't even know the tune right now.
Yeah, well, that's for another show. We'll do karaoke, Witches and Wine karaoke or something.
No, don't hold us to that.
Yeah.
Then
you're gonna be lonely.
So it's gonna be Lola karaoke. Which
Lola's
when is
karaoke
it not?
when she did it, because you are itching from last night.
I had a really good time doing karaoke. I think everyone should sing and dance and make music and love.
All in my praise.
All in my praise. Anyway, so yeah, it's the shadow work. It's looking at the dark mirror of our soul. we don't like what we see in there.
And it's looking at your part of the responsibility in situations.
Yeah.
You know, what part did you play in it?
And like I was saying earlier, because we brought this up because we were talking about that, and it is a really hard thing for people to do. Let's say there is a situation that you're in where you really didn't do anything. Like, it's really all on that person. But you have to look at how you react.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is when you start to play a part in it, is your reaction. And within that reaction, like, let's say someone just said some terrible things about you in the community, and, you know, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good example where you just really had nothing to do with it. You know, you could say, well, first of all, if people believe that, then I don't want to be around those people, because if people know me, they'll know that that's not true. Mm-hmm. But besides that, let's just say in La La Land that you're being talked about badly in your community or at your job or whatever, and you've done nothing to this person, okay? Maybe it's a personality issue or whatever, but you're really thinking, you know, I've done nothing to this person, you know? So when you're being told, well, what's your responsibility in the situation? You might, you know, say,
legitimately
none. I don't have any responsibility in this situation. But that's when you look, because by that point in time, usually when you're like, what did I do? That usually means the situation has gotten out of hand, and it's affecting things in a way. It's seeped into your personal life. It's affecting, you know, okay, right then and there's my responsibility. Don't obsess about it. You know, even if it's a small thing, how did I react to it? Am I egging this person on by playing into their game?
And that's a big portion, because like you look at schools are really easy to pick that out, because we see it over and over and over. It's a trope that's done over and over and over. The bully that is picking on the helpless victim kid, and often you get the, like, we simplify it so much because we try and play it off as like, oh, the poor bully, they have a rough time at home. And sometimes that's just not true. Sometimes people are just assholes.
Yeah. But then you have to think, okay, so perfect example is, you know, I was bullied really bad. My 10-year-old is bullied. And I have to look from my past experiences and try to teach him what I learned. And it is true, you know, he can own up his responsibility in the situation. Yes, there's a person that's being mean to him. But he needs to do everything in his power to show them that it doesn't bother him, that he can defend himself, and he needs to follow some of the steps at the schools, you know, report it. Because sometimes he's afraid to report it. Report, because I'm not saying that he did continue to get bullied because he wasn't reporting it, and then by the time he reports it, they're just hearing one instance.
One instance when it was really 10.
When it was 10. So that's just an example. And I'm not by any means, if there's parents out there that have kids that are being bullied, I sympathize with you. I'm not saying it's your kid's fault. I'm saying we can take responsibility. It doesn't mean admitting guilt or admitting fault. Sometimes
or victim blaming, as the case may be.
Yeah. It just means, what can I do to make this situation better for me, at least? I may not be able to fix it for the 2 people or 3 or 4 in this situation, but
it's an element of sacred selfishness again.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
it's sacred selfishness.
Sacred selfishness.
You need to do what you can do to make the situation as best as you can for you, and then you can kind of worry about other people, because you can't give from an empty pot.
Exactly, because if you're not making it easy on yourself, then you're not going to be able to help others. And in the Wiccan religion, you know, we do minister and we try to help others, but we need to figure out where the responsibility lies in situations in our life. It doesn't mean our life has to be perfect. Nobody's life is perfect. But there's that thing again where, what are the things I have control over? What are the things I don't have control over? But those things I don't have control over, I at least can control my reaction to them.
Yep.
And that's a huge part.
And even some of the stuff you don't have control over, to go with a mundane, like, let's say you hate your kitchen floor, and you can't afford to fix it. You can make do, at least temporarily, until you can fix the way you want it to be.
Yes.
Or put
and
rugs.
that works with people. Yeah, you have to
put a rug on there.
Think outside the box.
Our dogs. Our dogs are just now like, what's going on?
We want to be on camera.
Nanny's gonna lick you.
I know she always does.
I put on a sweater so she wouldn't
Lick
me.
it. Very smart girl.
Yeah, in any situation, like if you're in a situation and you want to change the situation, you have to look at your part of it.
Absolutely, because we all play a part in it, whether we like it or not. I'm getting my puppy up here.
The world's a stage.
Yes. Oh my goodness, we got big puppies.
Yeah. All the men and women only players. Yeah. Or something like that. Shakespeare.
There you go.
England.
Yeah.
I just watched A Wrinkle in Time, so I'm gonna pretend that I'm Miss What's-It.
Sorry
I think it was Miss What's-It.
Sorry about the dogs here. They're being a little ridiculous, but.
No, she's not. Her personal responsibility is nothing.
So, it's a big part of the shadow work that we do. You have to look into, why did I react the way I did? What are some lessons that I can learn from this? Sometimes you won't see the lessons right away. Sometimes you'll go years without, like, why did that happen? Because I still don't know the lesson. But I'm sure it's there. And then maybe you have to look into, why am I not learning the lesson? I mean, it's a lot of self-searching. It's a lot of diving in deep into that stuff that we don't want to look at.
Yeah, and whenever you work with the goddesses, they'll bring up stuff that you need to work on.
Yeah.
Particularly if you work with shadowy goddesses like we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, Hecate is definitely, she's the torchbearer. She's going to illuminate what things you don't want to be illuminated necessarily. Yes. And then I'm less familiar with Morgan, but she's very similar in that aspect. I know that much to where she's like, guess what? You're going to see it. You're going to deal with it.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Whether you like to or not, because here it is.
So I got to keep track of time because I have to pick up my husband from work. So, what things can you suggest to people that are good shadow work tips? Like we were talking about, it's easy to just say accept responsibility. Well, what are some things that you guys have done? Can you think of anything that you've done that's kind of helped you through shadow work or helped you kind of get through shadow work? Or
I think it's like when you see something in yourself that you don't particularly like, that, don't beat yourself up for it. Mm-mm. Acknowledge it, and if you want to change it, if it's something that you're wanting to work on and change at that time, then work on it. And don't beat yourself up. Don't feel bad. Don't feel ashamed that you've got this coming out in you. That everybody has stuff to their personalities that you can always work on.
Yeah.
Because we're a work in progress.
I was going to say, I don't think that the shadow work ever really ends. Because when you reveal one shadow, you're going to find 3 more.
Oh, God, yeah. But that's the thing, is you have to realize that it is, like you said, it's a work in progress. It's, go, puppies, go. Go over there.
Be compassionate towards yourself.
Compassion towards yourself is very important.
That's a big one, yeah. That's a good one.
Play into
our
stuff.
Later tonight. Yeah, we've got ritual later tonight. So, I find, and I was telling my husband this last night, that shadow work for me, when you do it and you're able to do it, it is so worth it in the long run, because you do so much healing and you just live in your truth. And I know it's hard for people, but the outcome really makes it worth it. Like, I can't stress enough how much my kind of shadow work, and a part of that, and we're not getting off topic, is accepting responsibility. That's a huge part of it. Doing that kind of work in my life has had always positive. Always I have come out the other end healthier, happier, and able to be more compassionate to other people, understand maybe where people are coming from. Sometimes when you admit those things in ourselves that we don't like, but if you admit it out loud, like saying it out loud, just when you're alone, you don't have to say it to anyone else.
It takes the wind out of sails.
Yep, it really does.
funny because, again, this comes down to, I just watched A Wrinkle in Time, and they have a point in there where it's like, and to you I give the gift of your faults.
Mm.
And then you get to see later in the movie how it plays out. And now I want the books. A couple of my kids have read the books. I've never read them, but I want the entire series.
Yeah.
I think Costco carries it, so I'm hoping to get that for Yule. But I want to read them because this is all about shadow work. Really, like, I'm watching this, it didn't get good reviews. I was like, I don't understand why. It's because it's a movie based on the book.
Are you wearing your key?
I am wearing my key.
We're wearing our keys.
I'm not.
Key power. Clink. Okay, well, we'll clink your...
Okay.
There we go. Clink. And clink. We haven't done a clink and drink.
Clink and drink.
Clink and drink. Wow, that was loud.
It was very musical and harmonious.
Right in my ear. Ooh.
Also, I feel the need to mention Tool's 46 and 2 because it's all about shadow work too. That one's a fun song.
Oh, I thought you were saying tools.
I
Like
was waiting for you to explain what the
what's
tools
46
were. Like,
and
the band
22? The
Tool.
band Tool, 46 and 22.
46 and 2.
And 2, sorry.
46 and 2.
I thought you were giving us a list of,
I
in our
did too.
toolbox. Look at refer to your witch toolkit.
Number
Number 2 and number
42.
46. Is it 42?
42
Okay.
and 2.
Okay, 42
Or 46 and 2. 46 and 2.
Whatever.
Number 46.
You should know.
Subsex 2.
I think when you admit things that, you know, I had to admit, like, having a personality conflict with someone, and sometimes I'd get, and I apologize, my phone's in the background, beeping, I would get just irritated. And I'm like, with a certain person, and I'm like, and a lot of it came out of jealousy. And I had to admit that. There's a jealousy aspect to it. And that was really hard for me to admit. And I had to admit to myself, I'm just jealous because I feel this, and this about this person, and there's a jealousy thing. And once I admitted that to myself and was able to work on that, I'm able to deal with, you know, certain people better because I've had that kind of reaction. And it's not jealousy like I want what you want. It's almost like opportunity jealousy kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's different.
I'm not
forms
jealous
of
of the money or the nice things. I'm jealous of maybe there's more opportunity, but then again, it's taking responsibility. How come I don't have that opportunity? How come I can't have certain choices? Maybe I could have that opportunity if I change this and save money for this and go back to school or whatever it is. That is right there. I have to turn it around and say, okay, well then I can have that same opportunity, but I need to do these things.
Because there's that saying, like, if you put all your problems in a pile with everyone else's problems, then by the end of the time you'd be like, no, I'm just going to take my stupid.
Right.
You can keep your own shit.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
going to
have
take
yours.
my shit.
I don't need yours.
But there's also I don't know where this quote comes from. Comparison is the thief of joy.
I love that. Thank you. I know, because I do compare myself to others. I do it all the time, and I feel like they do better, or they have this, or people like them better, and it's like, oh my God, that does take away from the things that I'm doing that are good.
And when you, excuse me, when you go to school, there's a lot of competition.
Yeah.
And when you compete with people, you don't cooperate with them.
We're in kind of a culture that encourages competition.
Yeah.
And we learn that from a very young age.
And I think women are very competitive with each other. And I hate to say that because I'm sure men are too. Men are in a different way.
I'm not a man, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're... Well, I know you're not a man. If you're a man, you're a very girly man. You've got nice tits for a man. I'm like, I don't know. That man's got some nice tits. But I think that I completely lost track because I'm not focused on his Lee's tits. What were we talking about? Competition. Women we compare each other to each other, and that's why I like to have close women friendships where there isn't competition and there isn't, because we tear each other down and we get catty. And again, I don't really think this is getting off topic because it is something we have to admit as a woman.
It's a personal responsibility.
It's a personal responsibility.
And you look at magazines and you start tearing yourself apart instead of looking at what you do have, you start focusing on what you
don't have. And again, when you accept responsibility for your actions, you're happier with what you have. You're happier with the choices you've made because they have brought you to where you are now, and you can learn these things.
I should also mention the if you're talking about magazines and stuff, we also have social media, which does not help with the comparison stuff because you're comparing your mundane life to somebody else's highlight reel. Because someone else is posting
just
like
glimpse in time.
I went to the Bahamas, yay, hashtag fun on the beach, and you're like, I wish I could go to the Bahamas.
I hate hashtags. When I see especially when there's
pound sign. My sister-in-law goes pound sign whatever because
she writes out pound sign.
It's hilarious. I love it.
Amazing.
I love it.
Pound sign. And I know that a lot of people get caught up on comparing, because Facebook, they don't. But then once in a while it strikes me, but I don't let it strike me too much because I understand, because I do the same thing. I'm going to show the highlight reel of my life and make it sound like, look at, and it'd be really cool if we had just a whole social media platform that just, you couldn't filter pictures. You could, you had to really, show the nitty gritty, or, it was acceptable to show, me picking, wiping poop stains off the toilet. Because I have boys and they shit all over the toilet. This picture. Why is it we talk about the toilet? I watched Summerland, or thing on Summerland, and we're talking about cleaning the toilets.
That's what we do in our daily life. It's a reality for us.
I'm always cleaning
Part of our shadow work is cleaning toilets.
I just keep referring to toilets. It's... God.
And it's like if you're comparing yourself and your life to everybody else, you got to do some shadow work on that. And it's why are you doing it? Exactly.
If you are so upset because you don't want to see what the fun things other people are doing on their Facebook feed, that's not their problem. That's your problem. And so you might want to look into why that's...
Maybe you need to share more fun things or unfun things like 3-car pileups.
Yeah. Woo, yeah. There you go. That sounds like a whole lot of not fun.
I was not involved. I just witnessed it this morning.
Yeah. Clink and drink that you were not involved.
Yes.
And I hope those people are okay.
They were all walking.
Okay, well that's good.
Fire department was on scene. I don't think there were any ambulances. Everything was okay, including the little girl that was in the back seat.
So good.
Everyone seemed fine.
So, there we go. I mean, those are just things that, again, why does something affect you the way it does? Why does somebody affect you the way? You have to look into yourself.
You have to really look.
You can't just point your finger at them and say, because they're an asshole. Maybe they are an asshole, but even if they're an asshole...
Why are you reacting
that way? Because don't feel like...
And I think it's important as well to sometimes go, you are allowed to have whatever reaction you have initially. That's important because you're going to have your knee-jerk reaction. It's what you do with it afterwards. You go... Oh my god, I'm so pissed off because I had a situation like that today where I was like, ugh, I can't believe that this thing has to happen and blah, 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 blah. And then I took a step back and went, okay, I'll just do what I have to do. Yeah.
And I'm glad you bring that up because our knee-jerk reaction is how we're going to react. We can't be all like, this person just...
You don't have to filter how you feel.
You can't be all white and love all the time.
This person just called me a bitch to my face, but I'm accepting responsibility for it by not punching them in the gut. It's like...
Sometimes that takes willpower.
Clink and drink. Willpower. You know who you are. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. There isn't one in particular.
It's you.
It's you.
You know who you are.
I took responsibility, and you better be happy I didn't kick you in the gut. And now there's gonna be people like, was it me? And if you're asking,
who's she talking about?
If you're asking if it was you, yes.
Yes, it is you.
I'm totally kidding. There is no one that I have wanted to kick in the gut for a very long time, at least a few months.
Or at least a couple of days.
And she takes another drink of wine.
And I spoke the truth. Now let's talk about your shadow stuff.
I don't want to kick anyone in the gut. I do want to slap them in the face.
Yeah, we never advocate violence.
Yeah, no violence.
With a chair.
You're not helping.
No, stop it. So, yeah, I think I think this is an important topic. We could do a whole hour on this, but I do have to pick up my husband. But I think that for those of you who, I've ran into people who have a hard time with shadow work. I mean, who doesn't? I'm not saying
it's not easy.
It's not, but they're like, I just can't do it, or I haven't tried, or, and if you're one of those people, I think there are really good steps to take. I think just admitting it. You don't have to admit it to anyone. Just admit it to yourself. Like I said, I'm jealous of that person. Just admit it. Just say, I'm jealous of that person.
And it's fine, like, if you are running on a treadmill and you find that you don't like that time with yourself because you feel like you're judging yourself, then again, you have to look at it. Why are you judging you?
Mm-hmm.
Because no one else is judging. You're your own worst critic. No one else is judging you like you judge you.
And if someone is judging you, then you can't control that. You can't control what people think about you. You can only be the best person that you can possibly be to someone, and they're going to make a decision about whether they like you or not. You could do everything right, what you think is right, and maybe they just don't like you. And that's okay, because, and that's
not everybody's going to get along with everybody.
Not everyone's going to like everybody, and that's been one in my past. I'm much better with it now, that I had to accept that I was just so worried that I don't want anyone to not like me. I don't think I can handle someone not liking me.
I think that's a lot of people's problem.
And I'd obsess about it. That person, they don't like me. They said they didn't like me. Or my favorite is when you hear from another friend, yeah, they don't like you very much. Well, first of all, that person who's telling you that news should probably keep their mouth shut. Because it's not
the gossip train.
It's the gossip train. So if you're listening, yep. If you're listening to someone that says, "Oh, so and so says that so and so said they don't like," well, you need to stop it right there and go, until I hear it from the horse's mouth, I'm not going to but we can't help it. We do. I know I used to really bad. I'd be like, oh, maybe it was that time I did this. I didn't say hi to them the other night. Did they get offended? I mean, like, it is so stupid. And that's when you got to stop yourself and go, wait a minute. If that person doesn't like me, they can come to me and tell me. It's and that takes that weight off your shoulder. Mm-hmm. And it is. You're accepting your role. You're accepting your responsibility in the situation. And I'm telling you, it feels really good when you can do that.
Yep.
But it's not an end-all be-all. It's a constant, we are constantly doing that. But it...
Because you're constantly growing.
Do you think it gets easier to do shadow work? Or does it just depend on the situation?
I think it depends on the situation.
Yeah, I think it depends on the situation. Some situations are much easier, and other situations are really hard.
Are going to be really difficult.
This is why therapy is a thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Because sometimes you need outside help.
Yes.
You can't do it yourself.
And a lot
I think, too, that when it comes to shadow work, that is kind of one of the problems within the greater pagan community, not just the local community, because I hear of a lot of people giving lip service to shadow work.
Yeah.
And then, often enough, I have personally seen some of the greatest advocators for shadow work
not do their own.
They do their own, but they're not getting it, or something is just not clicking.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh my god, I do all this shadow work, and then you're like watching their videos
life.
Or watching their life or seeing their comments, and you're just like, no, you're not actually doing your shadow work. You think you're doing your shadow work, but you're
then
not
again,
doing it.
That is probably their lesson or their path that they need to take. That's kind of how I look at it, because it's either going to click eventually, or if they're going to keep doing it the way they're doing it, it won't. And it's really not our place to judge. It's just our place to say, to recognize that maybe they have some work to do, and that's okay. I'm sure people probably look at me and go, gosh, she's got some work to do, And if you do, now I'm going to worry about it. Or is that what they're saying about me? I'm going to obsess about this. You get it? See what I'm doing? I'm getting, yeah. And then you say, you know what? Who cares? Shadow work, it's not that easy. Never mind. Anyway.
And look at Crystal's supports for shadow work. I know, like, Snowflake Obsidian, because it's the black and the white.
Yeah,
and there's
I love Snowflake Obsidian.
Can't remember what it's called. It's a chrysanthemum.
I can't remember
something.
either.
And it looks like it has little flowers in it, but it's also the black and the white. I have a palm stone of it. It's
I know
lovely.
what you're talking about. I can't think of.
But any of the stones that, like zebra jasper, the black and the white,
yeah, those are
good stones for your shadow work.
Yeah,
because
it really
it's
helps
bringing the light into the darkness. And if you feel like you can even just do two, you can do like an obsidian and a selenite.
Yeah.
This is the black and the white together.
That's good. Yeah.
And hold one in each hand if you're meditating with them or something like that.
That's a good idea.
That is very. I like that. That might be something we could talk about. Maybe doing some sort of meditation with the light and the dark stones, and meditating on doing shadow work. And Hecate is really good. Going and meeting her for shadow work. All of the dark goddesses. That's their forte.
And sometimes they're not so gentle.
Oh, they're sometimes.
This is why I'm pretty sure everyone that I know of, especially when it comes to Hecate, like I feel this less when it comes to like Caradwyn, but like Morgan and Hecate get the bad reputation of like you really have to get your stuff together before you can work with her. You want to make sure that you're in a good place, and it's almost daunting. But if she calls you,
you're ready.
You just do it.
Do it. Yeah. Because she sees something in you that is going to benefit you, even if it's going to be a really hard journey and a dark journey, but she sees it. They recognize it in you because they're like, I think you're going to be okay in this. We're going to go to some dark places, but you're going to be okay. Yeah. So
she doesn't send there. The goddess doesn't send you there alone.
Oh God, no. They're always there. Yeah. And it's just a darker, scarier place. Because it's within ourselves. And we all got some dark, scary shit in ourselves. This is the scariest shit ever. I mean, I'll watch horror films and go, that was awesome. But you make me have to reflect on some of my shit. I'm like, ah!
How do you feel about what happened to you in 4th grade? No, I don't feel that anymore. 4th grade is past me.
Yeah. That's why I drink. I was just going to say. Hence the wine drinking. we drink away our 4th grade memories.
Drinking is not a solution. Alcohol is, however.
There's a reason why they call it wine, though, because we do whine about our stuff. So, before we go, Isleen found this really cool deck of cards at Goodwill, and it's called the Wine Deck. And we're going to be using this a lot for different things, but tonight I wanted to just draw a card.
It's supposed to be helping you pair wines with certain foods or just let you know about certain wines, but we're witches.
So we want to kind of use it as a magical divination kind of thing. So I think we'll just draw a card and kind of maybe talk about what maybe it means. Oh, this is the...
Yeah, I was going to say don't take the...
Yeah.
Don't draw the instructions.
Yeah. That wine and cheese keeps coming up.
Apparently we're supposed to talk about wine and cheese.
We're going to talk about wine and cheese because it keeps coming up. So we pulled wine and cheese.
It's pretty.
What? Wine and cheese. So it talks about why they're natural allies, when should they be served, don't red wines go best with strong cheeses, how about fortified wines. So there's all this information. I'm not going to read it all. But
show it, flip it, and show it just to see the... There's all the information about the wine stuff.
And so I think maybe this is kind of what we were talking about, maybe the balance that we need of the shadow work.
The light and the dark.
The light and the dark. You've got your wine and cheese. I think that's a good card to pick because we are about balance. But I also would like anyone to put in the comments on our YouTube some really good wine and cheeses that they've experienced. Go out and research wine and cheeses, and just, talk about it and do the balance.
What do you think of if this were a divination type card? Because that's ultimately what I thought of.
Yeah.
I'm like, we do witches and wine.
Yeah.
We need a wine deck. We need to figure out how to make it work.
So we could
for
do
divinatory purposes.
We're doing the divinatory and we're doing the mundane.
Mundane and divinatory.
Find some wine and cheese. But also think about wine and cheese in your life. What would this mean in a deck if you got this in a reading? What would wine and cheese mean? I kind of balance.
Balance, yeah.
Yeah, and then play around with wine and cheese because, well, they're yummy together.
They're very good.
They're very, very good together. So thank you for that. That's awesome, Miss Lane. I'm looking forward to doing some more divination with that. So thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for putting up with our dogs hopping in our laps because they have to be on the show apparently. And if you want to be a guest or you have any questions about what we do, you can email us at crossroadscoven@gmail.com. Yes! Also, you could go to our Facebook page, which is Children of the Crossroads. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And remember to always be kind to one another. Walk with the goddess. And until next time, blessed be.
Blessed be.
Bye, everyone. Clink and drink. Blessed be. Blessed drink. Oh. Did you empty yours, too?
Yes.
Look at us.
Didn't.
She didn't.
Empty yours. There you go. Drink. Guzzle. Go. 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 Drink. 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 She's our lightweight. She'll be here for a while. Bye, everyone.
Bye.